The later days of Abraham. Long after the wide deserts had swallowed the footprints of many travelers, Abraham, the man who had once walked with God under a sky of endless stars, grew old. His life had been a tapestry of faith, courage, and journeying into lands unknown, yet the heart of Abraham longed still for family. His beloved wife Keturah bore him more children, and the desert hummed with the laughter and cries of little ones who would carry forward his name into the future. Abraham gave them gifts, sending them away to lands far from Canaan, leaving only Isaac, the child of promise, under the shelter of God's covenant. Abraham's days drew to a close, and when the silver threads of age fully touched his hair, he breathed his last, a peaceful breath in the land of his sojourning. His sons carried him to the cave of Machpelah, a sacred dwelling that held his beloved Sarah before him. With trembling hands, they laid him to rest beside her, closing the chapter of a life lived in obedience, hope, and divine favor. And so, Abraham's story in the mortal realm ended, yet his legacy whispered across generations. The birth of Ishmael's sons. While Isaac remained the heir of God's promise, Ishmael, Abraham's firstborn through Hagar, the Egyptian maid, grew into a man of strength and adventure. The desert winds seemed to favor him, and Hagar's eyes sparkled with the dreams of her son. God had spoken to Hagar in her youth, promising that Ishmael would become a great nation. Ishmael took wives, and the sands of Arabia witnessed the laughter of his sons, Nebaioth, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Dumah, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. Each name carried a story, a seed of future clans and tribes that would stretch across vast lands, whispering the enduring mark of Abraham's lineage beyond Isaac. And Ishmael lived to the age of 137, his days full of wandering and watching over the desert tribes, his life a testament to God's mercy in unexpected places. When he passed, his sons carried his legacy forward, a reminder that promise and purpose can take many forms. The longing of Rebekah. In a quiet corner of the world, Isaac, the child of covenant, had grown into a man of character, strong yet contemplative, walking paths guided by God's unseen hand. He took Rebekah, a woman of gentle courage and faith, to be his wife. The two found comfort and companionship, but time, that relentless river, flowed without pause. Rebekah, childless for many years, wrestled with a longing that weighed upon her spirit. In the stillness, she sought the Lord, and her prayers rose like incense across the heavens. God, who bends the universe to his will, heard her lament and promised that her womb would bear life, not just one child, but two nations tangled within her, a struggle even before birth. The struggle within the womb. The seasons passed, and Rebekah's belly swelled with the seed of destiny. Yet within her, a fierce conflict stirred. Twins fought for preeminence even as they formed, their movements a tempest in the quiet night. She asked the Lord, trembling, "Why am I like this?" And the Lord whispered a prophecy: 2 nations, 2 peoples, would be born, one mightier, yet the younger would serve the elder. And so, in her womb, history wrestled with itself. Esau, red and hairy, first broke the surface, a man destined for the hunt, the wild, and the rugged lands. Jacob, clutching his brother's heel, followed, a man destined for cunning, blessing, and covenant. The bond of the brothers. Esau grew into a hunter, roaming the fields with bow in hand, the wind in his hair, and the thrill of the chase in his heart. Jacob, by contrast, lingered intense, observing, learning, and dreaming of greater things. Despite their differences, the threads of brotherhood bound them, sometimes tight with love, sometimes fraying with envy and tension. Isaac loved Esau for the game in his hands and the smoke of the cooking fires he brought home. Rebekah favored Jacob, seeing in him the fulfillment of God's whispered promise. The household hummed with the undercurrent of destiny, like a river moving beneath the sands, unseen but unstoppable. The story of Esau's choice. One day, as the brothers returned from the fields, Esau, famished from the hunt, found Jacob by the hearth, cooking a savory stew. The rich aroma filled the tent, and Esau's hunger roared louder than his pride. "Feed me, I beg you," he said, voice edged with desperation. Jacob, ever clever, saw the moment and seized it. "Sell me your birthright," he said. Esau, in a moment of reckless impatience, agreed. The birthright, the sacred promise of inheritance, slipped from his grasp for a simple meal of lentils and bread. Thus, the story of Esau became a warning whispered across generations: choices made in haste can shape destinies forever. The legacy of generations. As the years moved forward like sand through an hourglass, the family of Abraham grew. Jacob married, Rebekah's prophecy unfolded, and Esau's descendants spread across the hills and plains. Each name, each story, etched into the fabric of the world, weaving a tapestry of nations. And though Abraham had passed, and Ishmael too, the echoes of their lives remained in the laughter of children, the rise of clans, and the enduring promise of God's covenant. A single family had become many, and a single promise had begun to stretch across time like the horizon, infinite and unyielding. Lessons from Genesis 25. Genesis 25 is a chapter of continuity, prophecy, and choices. Abraham's death reminds us of life's inevitable end but also the enduring power of legacy. Ishmael's descendants illustrate God's mercy and faithfulness beyond the immediate line of promise, showing that blessings can appear in unexpected ways. The story of Isaac and Rebekah teaches patience, prayer, and faith, revealing that God's plans often unfold in ways unseen, even within the hidden struggles of the womb. The rivalry between Esau and Jacob warns that impulsive decisions can have lasting consequences, and that destiny is not only a matter of birth but also of character and divine orchestration. Ultimately, Genesis 25 calls us to reflect on the threads of life, faith, and family, reminding us that every birth, every choice, and every moment carries the weight of eternity. It is a story of hope, struggle, and the quiet, persistent whisper of God guiding history toward fulfillment.